Let's go for a driving tour of Rancho Mission Viejo, California. Every year, we update our audience with everything that's going on with the rare new construction community of Rancho Mission Viejo, California. That's right, Rancho Mission Viejo is the largest new construction development currently selling new homes in Orange County. And it's one of the only remaining areas in Orange County, California where you can buy a brand spanking new home. So if you want new construction and you want to live in Orange County, you're going to want to watch this whole video to see what you do and do not like about Rancho Mission Viejo, including some of the fees and taxes associated with the area that we'll talk about shortly. In this year's update, we're going to show you some incredible new amenities that are available in Rancho Mission Viejo, which really models itself after its famous neighbor, Ladera Ranch, which is known for its strong community vibes and its amenities, and more amenities. You guys, the updates in this video are so exciting, I'm going to have to warn you that you're really going to want to hold on to your butts as you watch it.
Hold on to your butts.
Okay, maybe the new amenities aren't as exciting as Jurassic Park, but they're still pretty cool. Let's get started. Let's go for a ride. So we're starting out in the Sendero Marketplace. So there's 3 villages within Rancho Mission Viejo right now. There's more planned to come. So we're in the Sendero Marketplace. So this is like the main retail of Rancho Mission Viejo.
For now.
They are planning another little, you call this like a strip mall. This is a little strip mall. They're planning another little strip mall that's going to be coming up in 2027, mid-2027, I think is what the plan is for.
Because that is basically one of the big knocks on this is that Rancho Mission Viejo is like this huge, like pretty good sized community. Yeah. It's probably over 10, there's over 10,000 people like that reside here. And it's not technically a city, right? It's a designated census area, I think. What's what they call it? Census designated area. I think that's what they call it. So, but the thing is that you have all this development, but hardly any retail to service it for the most part.
Yeah. So today we're gonna, see some exciting new things. This is a rare treat for Orange County because it is new construction. There is still some new construction in Irvine, but this is like the biggest. This is a big master plan community. You're not going to get anything like this anywhere else in Orange County. It's built out, right? So
yeah. So they started building out. Like they started building here in 2012, 2013 range, and then it's obviously present day. So there's 3 main villages in Rancho Mission Viejo currently, with more to come in the future. But there's 3 current ones. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad.
And we're licensed realtors here in the state of California. And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the blue skies. I love the perfect weather. I can't wait to move here now. And the problem is I'm not local and maybe out of state and maybe even out of the country. So I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's when you reach out to us. So we can have that conversation over the phone, finding out specifically what you're looking for. And we give you your boots on the ground. We can do virtual tours of the homes as well as the neighborhoods, really finding that perfect property for you. So when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently. So what you want to do is give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country. Yeah, and I would say the biggest knock to this is the location. It's very far south, and it's also, pretty far inland, although you're not as far inland as Coto de Caza.
Yeah, I would say that for a new construction, I would say the inland part is not as much the issue. It's more just, it is definitely not nearly as built out around here. Of course, that's why they're building it here. But basically, it's just kind of pretty far south.
Yes, it is pretty far south. So, you're going to have to get off on the Ortega Highway, which can back up. So, you just got to know if that location is okay with you. And then also, like Sean was saying, the lack of retail,
infrastructure. Yeah,
infrastructure like right at your disposal. So we just showed you the Cindereo Marketplace, and then we'll show you like a tiny bit of retail that's in Rancho Mission Viejo right now. I mean, I wouldn't even call it like a retail space. There's a few little
bit of stuff. Yeah, I mean, again, there are more to come. So the knocks again, like you're saying, lack of infrastructure. So the schools, so the main school here is Tesoro.
Well, so that's the high school.
Yeah.
And then the elementary school, they are building one. So they're going to build, it's called Rienda Elementary, and it's going to be K through 8. And so that's coming 2027 as well.
Yeah.
So that's because Sean was, telling me earlier today that a lot of what they're doing here, they're really trying to copy Ladera Ranch. So Ladera Ranch has schools on site. So that's going to be a big thing for people.
A lot of community amenities.
Yeah.
Very community centric. Like,
Yeah.
so it's very community centric. Like, that's what, like, Ladera Ranch is kind of known for, this communal vibe. Because again, Orange County is really not known for that for the most part.
Yeah.
But Ladera Ranch has definitely done a great job of it. And then now we're seeing that that Rancho Mission Viejo took that template and they're applying it to itself.
Yeah, and you're going to see all the updated amenities because we usually do an update like once a year. So this is this year's update. So last year, I mean, I doubt if you watched our channel last year, you're still watching it because, you know, if you didn't buy, you're probably never going to buy. But,
or if you bought, you're not watching anyway.
Or if you bought, you're not watching anymore. We do have at least one Rancho Mission Viejo tour.
Yeah.
So this will be updated. So the update, you get to see all the new amenities. Because last year when we did this, there was a lot of stuff that was being worked on, a lot of amenities, and you know, I'm actually curious what they look like.
Yes. So we're actually entering the village of Esencia here.
We're entering the village of Asencia. So this one's all built out, right, Sean? This one?
Yes, this has been built out, exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like so Sendero was the first one, then Esencia, and now they're working on Rienda.
Yeah, and to give you an idea of the year built for the homes here, it's about around 2015 to 2021, give or take, as far as when the homes were built here. So certainly not by any stretch old, but not brand new. But it's a nice little sweet spot because it's not like it's, you know, like 10, you know, like 10-ish years old, right? So it's not like at the oldest.
Yeah, so, and it's interesting though, like I feel like with each village that they do, it kind of is like bigger and better each one.
Yeah.
Like I really like Esencia, but then when you go to Rienda, you're like, oh, I really like this. Although there is pros and cons to buying the newest, right? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, so the pros and cons, like I would say, so obviously some people want that brand new spanking home, which is funny to me because growing up in Orange County, that was just never even much of a thought process of getting like, oh, I need to have the new home because you're going, you know, all the homes, like, you know, Orange County's kind of been built out for more or less for a while now. And of course, like, you know, over time they've developed more of South County as it's grown up. And so you do have some of the newer construction stuff. But what's nice is that even with a home that's even a couple years old, that's almost preferable to a brand new construction because all the kinks have been worked out, right? Because, you know, these builders, obviously they do what they can to build a, you know, nice, beautiful, brand new home. But the thing is that inevitably some of those homes are going to have some defects. And as you live in it, you're going to experience those defects and have those defects corrected. And so what, like, I've talked to home inspectors that they go, the best home to buy is actually a home that's a couple years old because, again, the kinks have been worked out. They're doing their home inspection. A lot of times these builders, like these home inspectors, they're doing an inspection on a home that's only 2 years old. And there's like basically nothing cited as far as any issues, which, and, you know, like anyone that's received a home inspection report, typically the home inspection list is 30 plus items long. I mean, they're just, they're being paid to find any and every little thing that they can. And a home that's only a couple years old really doesn't typically have a whole heck of a lot. So that's even why, like, you know, when I'm advising buyers that are actually buying a new construction home, they kind of let their guard down going, oh, I don't need to do a home inspection. And actually, in fact, I'm going, you know what, actually, you still do. Like, you know, because, you know, like, you can't just take what the builder did and assume that nothing is wrong with the property. Again, inevitably, some homes are going to have some defects. And if you can find that out before you move in, even all the better, because, you know, again, who wants to be dealing with the, you know, the issues of a home having to get its, you know, those kinks worked out while they're living in the home itself.
Yeah, and not to interrupt Sean, but you probably saw the thing that's being worked on right there. So that is medical. So there's a bunch of medical that's going in, Providence Medical. So, you know, that's something. And also, we'll show you the retail that's up there. We're first going to go to the sports park, which is really cool. It's beautiful, got beautiful, you know, baseball fields, soccer fields, and then we'll show you, you know, just a little retail. The retail here to the side, like I said, it's not quite.
It's a business park.
Yeah, it's a business park. So, yeah, I think there's a restaurant here, although I don't even know if the restaurant's still here. It might not have made it. Yeah, so this is a little business park. There's a few little businesses in here.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, again, this is not, like, there's going to be more coming to, like, again, mid-2027. It's just that there's not a whole heck of a lot right here. Now, having said that, you just, like, you venture only a few minutes outside of Rancho Mission Viejo and you have tons of different, you know, strip malls. It's just that within that's like kind of like the knock, is that it doesn't have a whole heck of a lot within the confines of the designated census area.
Yeah. There will be
this pizzeria is coming soon.
Oh, okay. And there will be, actually, there's plans for another grocery store. So you saw the Gelson's, which is at Sendero, which is technically the very beginning.
Oh, coastal carts. I mean, you obviously need golf carts here, so
that's true.
That.
So there will be 2 grocery stores within the census district of Rancho Mission Viejo.
And again, like right outside of it, you have like lots of other options. And actually, even the shops at Mission Viejo, which is a pretty good sized mall, is only about 10-15 minutes away, so it's not like really that far away from here. But and then obviously Irvine Spectrum is about 20-25 minutes away, depending. So like that's, you know, like that again. So you have options. It's just that Orange County, we're just known for super convenient, like everything's like right here, and this is where it's a little bit off because it's not right here yet.
Okay, so according to the navigation, with no traffic to the Spectrum is 23 minutes from where we are. Of course, that's with no traffic. And then actually the shops at Mission Viejo is 18 minutes. So it's, that's with no traffic, of course. So
the more you know.
The more you know. So let's go to the sports park next, and then we'll just show you a little bit of the homes within Asencia, and then we'll get to the good stuff, which is all the newest amenities, which is over at Rienda.
Yeah, and also, just so you know, so there's currently there's 3 different villages here. Now, like for instance, in Irvine has like 20 plus different villages that like within Irvine, and each village has its own association dues. So it's not a citywide association dues. It's each little village, you know, has that layer. So you can only really go to those specific amenities for those specific villages. Like, so if you're a resident of those villages or a guest, you can go to that specific village amenities, but not other ones. Whereas in Rancho Mission Viejo, all amenities are at your disposal because this is a citywide kind of set of association dues.
Although it's census district wide, it's not a city.
That's it. Thank you for the clarification. That is true.
Yes.
And also, like what's also another thing to be aware of is that as well, like going down this neighborhood here, is that you'll see some like there's 2-story homes here. So, like as the homes get newer, they go more and more vertical.
Yeah.
So you'll see at Rienda there's lots of detached single-family residences, but there's 3 stories. Not that they all are. Like they even have 1 story in some of the 55 and older communities there, but a lot of the homes, I would say the majority of the homes are more like 3-story, and then you have some 2-story. But it's just something to be aware of because some people I've worked with, one of their pain points is that with a 3-story home, that's just a lot of stairs to go up and down, and especially you're combining the 3 stories with the fact that each story has 9-10 foot ceilings, because so everyone wants a high ceilings. Well, that's more stairs you have to go up and down. So it's just one of those things to be aware of, that you may or may not like really care for having to go up that many stairs. Because the typical setup is first floor is your garage, second floor is your main living area with your living, dining, kitchen stuff, and then third floor is where the bedrooms are. So if you want to get to your bedroom, you're going up 2 flights of stairs, and again, a decent amount of, you know, vertical to kind of go up. So it's one of those things that where, you know, that's why we're always listening to what you're looking for. Like if you're fine with 3 levels, great. I mean, but if you're really wanting 2 stories or whatever, then there is that. They do offer that here. It's just that there's just a lot of 3-story homes here too.
Yeah, and then Sean, in just a second, we'll talk also about the different fees associated with each different village, right?
Yes.
And also, I believe that this sports park, because, you know, usually amenities, you can only use it if you, you know, are part of the community. I believe the sports park is open to the public, and I'm guessing that's because they probably have like games and stuff here. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, in general, whenever we talk about amenities, that is only open to if you are a paying member of the HOA and your guests. Like you can't just like go to somebody's amenities.
And a lot of these times that this pertains to fitness centers that are here, into pools that are here, to tennis courts that are here. Those tend to be the things, like if it's just a park, like a, you know, grassy park, you know, or field, that tends to be open, right? I mean, it's just more like the fitness centers, the pools, the lagoons, the tennis courts, those kind of things tend to be specific to the community, like specific to residents of Rancho Mission Viejo.
Or
their guests.
Or of anywhere. Like, you're just, you know, you can't just like
Oh, I'm showing up.
Yeah, you can't just like go. Yeah, the fact that people think that, I'm like, really? You think that? I would never actually think that.
Because that costs money.
And here are a few clips of the amenities that belong to the Esencia village of Rancho Mission Viejo, including the sports fields and pool. These are not new amenities, but they're still pretty awesome. Stay tuned for other amenities, including all the newest ones in Rienda village, which is currently under construction.
So I hope you enjoyed that little B-roll. And now we're just going to show you just a few of the homes at Asencia, just to get a feel of like this community. And then, Sean, did you want to talk about like the different transfer fees and stuff?
Yeah, so it's funny. So like every village is a little bit different on how they did the dues. Like HOA dues so the general master HOA dues, like for the entire, again, census district, is in the vicinity of $300 a month, plus or minus, right? So that kind of gets you access to all these community amenities and everything like that. And then what you also have is when you buy a property here, and it's not just unique to Rancho Mission Viejo, there's actually some other areas in Orange County that offer the same thing. There's basically a transfer fee that from like when it's sold, there's a transfer fee to the HOA for for the new buyer. And so that so at some communities, like for instance Ladera Ranch, it's about 0.25%. So it's not nothing, but it's not terribly significant of the sales price. Now, as far as Sendero and Esencia, that it's 0.375%. So it's a bit higher than, let's say, Ladera Ranch, but that's, again, not dramatic. Now, Rienda, they kind of up the ante a little bit here. So it's actually, when you take into account all the fees, it's about 1% of the purchase price, which again, so you're buying $1 million home, that's like a $10,000, transfer fee. So that's just something to be aware of. So it's just, so there's that. So there's that transfer fee. And then on top of that, as far as other fees are concerned, you also have, so if you're a detached house, so a detached single family residence where you're responsible for all your utilities, for your structure and all that stuff, again, it's about that $300 or so per month for the master, HOA dues. And then on top of that, you have if you're a attached property, so if you're a townhouse or a condominium where now that particular, you have another HOA that you're a part of that is responsible for the structure. Then you have additional layers of HOA dues. So secondary HOA dues that can be, not a heck of a lot or rather significant. Like at the top end, the blended HOA dues can approach $800 per month, but it can be far lower than that just depending on what that situation is, what that particular development is. So again, it's just one of those things to be aware of. And obviously when we're having the conversation and if you're interested in Rancho Mission Viejo, we go over all those fees, what it might be. And thirdly, there's another set of fees to be understand, and that's Mello-Roos. So Mello-Roos is to fund new infrastructure like new roads, schools, fire stations, that kind of stuff in previously undeveloped areas. And so obviously being that this whole area was completely undeveloped, you have Mello-Roos fees. Now in Rancho Mission Viejo, that Mello-Roos fee is about a blended rate of about 1.9%. So that's, it's in Rienda specifically, that's like the newest, latest and greatest. So it's about 1.9% for the blended Mello-Roos fee. So that's your typical your typical property taxes are 1.1%. So this is nearly a doubling of the property taxes. And the Mello-Roos for at least Rienda, it holds on for about 40 years. So it's a good portion that, of the lifespan, for the foreseeable future, you're going to be paying a pretty decent amount for those fees. So you just got to be aware of it. And again, when we're having the conversation, I'm giving you all the fees because not even within Rancho Mission Viejo, those blended fees could be actually a bit less because those fees are at the time of sale. So so for instance, someone bought something in, Sendero, then those Mello-Roos fees are actually going to be a decent amount less because the property sale price at that time was a lot less. So it's just one of those things where we would go over what all those fees are, but just be aware of the Mello-Roos fees, be aware of secondary HOA dues, and be aware of the transfer fees.
And then before we go check out the newest amenities, you know, everything that's changed, because here we are in Esencia, not much has changed because this is not the newest village. So we're heading over to Rienda. That's the village that they are working on right now. But before we do that, do you want to talk about like why it's important to use an agent if you are buying new construction? I mean, obviously we'd love it if you work with us, but even if you don't work with us, like we highly recommend that you work with an agent.
So for one, a lot of these homes are already like pre-owned homes, right? So there's, you know, Rancho Mission Viejo has been being built since like 2012 or so. So a lot of these homes are actually have changed hands, and, you know, like existing owners are selling and that kind of thing. But on top of that, since there is some new construction, I highly recommend that you have someone be your advocate, someone looking out for you. Because if you just go in that sales office, that salesperson, they know how their bread's buttered. They're being paid by the builder, so they're going to be looking out for the builder first and foremost. Like, you want an agent that's actually going to be on top of the, you know, transaction, be, you know, like looking over, okay, what is the agreement you're going through? What is it that, like, what are the timelines? Are they hitting those timelines? You know, we're, you know, constantly talking to the home builders and all that stuff to make sure that the home is being built in the time frame that you want it to be built. If you want to do an inspection, we help arrange that said inspection, so like with a home inspector. And then also, if you're looking to just make sure that whatever upgrades you did to the property are being done, because sometimes, again, these builders, you know, sometimes things get lost, right? So even though you get a design center, you pick out what upgrades you wanted to have to the property, things get missed sometimes. So we want to make sure that what you're trying to buy is what's being delivered to you in the time frame that it's being promised to be delivered.
Yeah, and then we just went by another one of the elementary schools that are here, Asencia. So yeah, just to know that. But there are plans for another one, K through 8. Is Rienda, I wouldn't call it elementary because it's through 8, but that one's scheduled for 2027.
And also, so if you want, so you can go, like, obviously Tesoro is the high school. Yeah. That's a public high school in the area. Actually, J. Sarah is a private high school that's really not that far away from here.
Yeah.
If that's something that you're interested in. So that's one of those things where some people really like the private high schools, and there's actually like a very notable one actually not that far away.
Yeah, J. Sarah is very popular if your kids like sports. We have a friend, their son is really good at soccer, and he's going to J. Sarah. Yeah, so J. Sarah's 10 minutes away. I'm just looking at it right here. And then Tesoro is, let's see. Tesoro is 10 minutes away. So they're both about 10 minutes away.
Yeah, and Tesoro is very highly rated. I mean, if you go to niche.com, I mean, you know, like, Tesoro is a very highly rated school. It's part of the Capistrano Unified School District, so you do have that option. Like, not to say it's a foregone conclusion, I wouldn't say that, but to inter-district transferability is, you know, like, pretty commonplace, where people are able to transfer to different schools, specifically based off of whatever criteria of learning they want to do. Like, if they're into dual language immersion, if they're into the Reggio philosophy, there's a bunch of different schools, because Capistrano Unified School District is actually rather large. It's the largest school district in Orange County, and it encompasses like 8 or so different cities / census district areas. So you have a lot of variety here. But having said that, you know, even though Capistrano is rated really high, like A+ on niche.com, and Tesoro is rated super high for a high school, those ratings only tell you so much, right? Like, you know, one of those things that it's like, okay, it's good to have the data. Another resource is greatschools.org is another good resource. But what I would say is that beyond just that data, you want to also, let's say, do a little bit of digging, you know, check out call the school administrators. Maybe they have a Facebook group where you can kind of get a sense of, does this feel like the right fit for your aspiring people? Yeah, and people are so this is South Orange County, and so people are very into youth sports. Oh, yeah.
Well, that sports complex, I mean, that's just like the epitome.
Oh, and that's like...
Epitome.
That is not a unique situation at all either.
No. But of course, like, they have to, like, well, this is our centerpiece of the village of Asencia, as we have a massive sports park.
And also, you'll notice there's a lot of undeveloped areas out yonder, and so people kind of rightly... kind of a little bit concerned about, okay, what's the deal with the fire situation and all that stuff. So anytime you're near unimproved areas, that's obviously like a potential for fuel for a fire that can burn rather quickly. So, we can offer, if you're interested, we can offer you fire maps, like elevated fire dangers throughout the different cities in Orange County. So you just reach out to us and we'll provide that for you. And also one thing I always recommend is, if you're interested in an area, immediately let's say we decide on a property that you like, immediately contact the insurance company, like an insurance broker, just to get that fire insurance out of the way, understand what your cost is, what the coverage is, all that stuff, and maybe even get multiple bids, just to make sure that you're happy with that coverage. Because these days, just getting insurance takes a little bit longer, and we want to just make sure that there's no extra stress. So it's one of those things to get out of the way sooner than later.
Yeah, and then just to be clear, we're not fire experts, but I mean, this is close to undeveloped land. You can see it all around us. So it is increased fire risk here, for sure.
But it's not, I don't think surprisingly, it's not super elevated, at least the last map I saw. But again, that could change. That's where, again, we would send you the most up-to-date fire maps.
Yeah, again, we're not experts, but we do want you to know that this is undeveloped land. You are sitting on undeveloped land.
As you can see, undeveloped land.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I love it. Of course, a lot of people wouldn't agree with me. I think it's so pretty. The beautiful
Golden
Hills. But not everyone agrees. But it's just the weather is so nice.
So this is the newest, latest, and greatest village. This is Rienda.
Yes, we're going to show you the new amenities. Oh, and there's some horses.
Oh, there's some horses, yeah.
We'll show you those because we'll stop there. We'll stop at Ranch Camp last.
Okay, so we're going last.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So let's go to the new amenities. So
yeah, the newest
we'll go to
stuff.
Boulder Pond and Playground right now. So this is the newest.
So a lot of these homes
excited.
are built in the last year or so. These are pretty new builds, and there's new stuff happening as we speak.
Yes. So Rienda is not built out yet. Although some of the neighborhoods here are already sold out.
Yeah, those some phases certainly have, but there's other stuff that's so this is open. This is new because that used to be tar.
Yeah, that was tar. Okay, so I'm gonna get out and you can see my.
It's so much more open now that it's.
I know.
And here is the playground that is part of Boulder Pond, which is part of the newest amenities of Rancho Mission Viejo. But before we show you Boulder Pond, we're going to drive real quick to show you the newest pool called The Plunge. And here is the newest pool called The Plunge.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that B-roll.
Okay, and sorry to get all confusing on you, but now we're back at Boulder Playground and heading literally 100 yards ahead of us.
And now literally, I don't know, 100 yards away, we're heading towards the pond. So, have you seen this yet?
No, this is pretty new stuff.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it.
It's so weird because this is all tarp before,
Yeah.
so it's funny how this is actually now a thing. Oh yeah, there's a pond. Look at that.
Oh yeah, oh I gotta go. Now here's some good B-roll right now, so I gotta go get it right now. And I'll show it to you guys. Oh, and there's little waterfalls.
And here's Boulder Pond. And then just because you haven't seen these amenities yet in this video, here are all the amenities at the area of Rienda Village called Ranch Camp, which includes 2 pools, a trailhead, and an area for horses, which are technically owned by the ranch itself. But again, these aren't the newest amenities, but they're still cool.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is when you give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.